And yes, joining us here in the studio is Angie, who runs the Reptile Show. Now, you will bring this show out to schools and kind of get kids used to seeing different reptiles and snakes and almost, would you say, trying to disperse some of the fears that maybe people have when it comes to certain reptiles?
Exactly. That's kind of my goal with bringing the reptiles out. Just so many people are afraid of them because they don't know.
Like me?
like our big chicken over here and the one behind the camera.
My palms, I'm sweating.
It's funny how quickly the studio cleared out when people knew.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there is a snake in that red bag down there. Wait, what? Okay, well, I gotta go somewhere.
And then when you said how heavy it was when you lifted it up, I was like, what? And then you pulled the damn thing out. That is a big snake.
It's a Now, what kind of Narcissa is the name of this snake, but what kind of a snake is Narcissa, right? Am I saying that right? Narcissa?
Yep. Narcissa is actually Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter.
Oh!
His mom.
That's awesome.
And my other boa is Lucius.
Oh,
Nice.
There you go.
But Narcissa is a sunglow boa.
Okay.
So she's like a red-tail boa, but kind of like a albino.
Oh, so how rare is a snake to look like Narcissa? How rare is it that a snake comes out looking like this?
Well, there are albinos that aren't quite as rare, but her color is very rare because she has extra red pigment in her. And yeah, there's not too many of them, of the sunglows.
Wow, it is really a beautiful snake. I mean, I don't think, when I was thinking, okay, there's a snake coming in today, I'm thinking of like the Gartner snakes that you find in your yard, and I'm thinking that this brown thing is going to come crawling up, and here this gorgeous yellow snake is.
No less frightening, though, for me anyway.
But you did. Jesse touched this snake earlier. Did that freak you out? Are you good with that?
I would touch it again. It did feel like a basketball because they look slimy. I mean, they look wet, but not so much.
Nope, not at all slimy. It's just the oils.
Gotcha.
Wow. So now, has Narcissa eaten recently?
Yeah, she just ate on Monday.
Okay. So, well, that seems like a few days. How often does a snake like this eat?
When they're babies, you want to feed them about once a week. But once they're adults, you can go to every other week, every 3 weeks if need be.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
And what would be on the dinner table for Narcissa?
She mostly eats large jumbo rats.
DJs.
You're right.
Sometimes you can get rabbit for them.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I would want to see that.
What's the biggest what's the biggest animal that she could eat?
You want to feed them what the size of the biggest part of their body is.
Okay.
So she could easily eat like a squirrel.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Or a poodle.
Maybe a Yorkie.
Yeah.
One of those little toy breeds. Yeah.
Now, realistically, she's probably I just had a baby. Well, I didn't. We just had a baby last week. Would she eat a human?
Well, generally, snakes don't eat humans because our shoulders are too wide, so they can't get us down.
Even like a baby, though?
I don't think she's not big enough, but maybe, the big Burmese pythons.
Not that you would leave a baby by a snake by itself.
I would never. People do that. Oh,
Really?
They sleep with them, and it's like, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I mean, they're pets, but yet they're still a large snake, and you have to respect that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if the baby wiggles wrong, or it could be food. Yeah, that's a very dumb thing to do.
Yeah. Well,
so for safety's sake, don't.
Because I was almost going
that.
to invite my daughter in just to see it this morning.
Well, that's fine.
Right, but my wife would have come with our son, and I was like, well, not that I was worried about that, but it just got me thinking. I was like, I wonder if this snake could eat my baby.
That is a protective
This one
daddy.
probably couldn't.
Because I do have my jackknife with, in case I wouldn't cut it.
Now, Narcissa has had experience with many children, because you said you bring her around to some of the schools and stuff that you do your show at.
Yep, and birthday parties, and we work out at the Renaissance Festival also.
Oh, okay. And what do you guys do how many animals would you bring typically to the Renaissance?
Well, when we're at the Renaissance, we're members of the Minnesota Herpetological Society.
Herpetological.
That's the study of reptiles and amphibians.
Oh.
And they run the Como Cottage out at the Renaissance Festival. So we volunteer with them. And when we go out there, we just bring maybe 4 animals, and it's all volunteer.
Okay.
Like if I go to a daycare or a school, Depending on what we set up, but it's around a dozen animals I'll bring, and about an hour-long program. That,
cool.
just tell the kids about the animals, and
I bet they love them.
yeah, they really like it if one of them goes pee on me.
I guess
What
That's
is
their
one of
favorite
the-
part.
What is one of the most popular animals that you tend to bring out?
Usually one of my bigger snakes. Always have one of them, and then I have a large tortoise, also a sulcata tortoise. Kids really like her.
Oh, cool.
Do they ride her?
Not quite. They don't quite get big enough to ride.
Okay.
Maybe like if you have balanced a baby on one.
Sure.
But they're not the Galapagos tortoises. Are the
Gotcha.
ones that are like at the zoos that you can ride.
Okay. How big is the, lengthwise, biggest snake that you have that you take out to shows?
I have 3 of them that are pretty close to the same as Narcissa, so about 6.5 feet. But the one is a young reticulated python, and she'll get much longer. She'll get up to about 20 feet.
Whoa!
Nah, not so much. I'm glad that wouldn't be in the studio.
No,
Maybe
and-
we'll have to have you come back.
And again, like talking with the safety of the kids, whenever you get one, like even the reticulated or the Burmese, you have 2 people.
Oh,
A
okay.
friend of mine got bit by a 16-foot reticulated python, and it totally wasn't the snake's fault. It was a feeding response.
Oh.
But you have 2 people with, and she just got a couple little bite marks, and that was it.
Yeah,
And that's kind of why you want to make sure you feed them before you bring them out and stuff. So Narcissa has eaten. Could I try to hold
Are you kidding?
Narcissa?
You're gonna
Absolutely.
Well, I
Little
want to
kids do.
try it.
Yeah.
Little kids holder.
Okay, you can do
I'm
it.
a full-grown adult. What would be the best? I'll get off my chair here.
Either with your hands out or around your neck. You
I
can
might
set
be
it on your
looking for a
neck.
new partner sometime.
I'll do hand. What should I do? Britney Spears or? I'm just
Sure,
kidding.
why not?
I had on a belly dancer costume from the Renaissance, and I actually had Narcissa, and I had her holding her up with my Britney Spears pose.
What would you recommend for a first-time snake holder? Should I do arms out or should I do the neck?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I
She's
think
heavy.
maybe arms, just because. What if I would feel bad if she slipped off of me.
Oh, she won't slip. They
Should I
hang
just hold my
Should I
arms
just
out like
snap your
this?
neck? Oh my God!
Do I need to
on. You can hold her. Whatever.
look at me? I'm just like, I'm holding my arms out. That's it.
Hmm.
Are you comfortable, Snake? Oh my gosh, this feels so weird. You can feel all the muscles in this snake. I look really awkward right now, don't I?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I look like somebody, like a dad who's holding a baby for the very first time.
What is this? It pooped.
Okay, maybe I can try
Put it
around the
your
neck.
Yeah,
Okay,
do it.
okay, we'll try it.
Oh my God! There she
Oh.
goes. Dead.
Wow. Oh.
There you go. Now turn around.
All
Get a good
right.
picture.
Okay, everybody. I have a snake around my neck. This is probably the craziest thing I've done in radio so far. Can she sense if I am feeling kind of like
You're gonna die.
Yeah,
a little bit of anxiety at all? Or?
I think sometimes they sense it a little bit. My other one, Lucius, I was holding him one time, and he was just fine. And this lady wanted to hold him, so I put him on, and he just got really agitated. And I didn't do anything naughty, but just was wiggly and agitated. And as soon as I took him back, he was fine. So there's something about that lady. He didn't like her.
Because I can tell, it's almost like you can tell she's kind of like
Yeah.
coiled back a little. Like, I don't know if if I trust this person who's holding me right now.
I noticed she's not slithering or sticking out her tongue. Is that any indication of her mindset? Oh, there.
Well.
Never mind. I didn't know if that meant like, hey, I'm going to wait because the next
No.
one's going to be a bite to the neck.
No.
When they stick their tongue out, they're actually tasting smells. They have a gland on the roof of their mouth called an olfactory gland. And when they stick their tongue out, they catch scents, and that gland can sense it. And their tongues are forked because then they know which way the scent came from and which
Okay.
way they need to go towards their prey.
Oh, I can feel her breathing right now.
Cats have the same gland.
That is cool.
No
If
kidding.
you ever see a cat smell something and then kind of open its mouth and like that, it's the same thing. It's got an olfactory gland.
No kidding.
Huh.
And it's tasting the smells.
Well, this is really interesting. We might have to have you hang out here for. Are you planning on going anywhere, or do you want to hang for a little bit in the studio?
I can for a little while, yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll be coming.